Okay, Mike here with MatterFix.io again, and this is the fourth in our series of introduction to Matterport scanning. These are some very basic videos to just kind of get you up and going if you're new to scanning with Matterport. And let me say, for this particular one, we're going to go over your cloud account, uploading the model, viewing it, and kind of some of the basic functionality of what you can do with the space once it's uploaded, processed, and in your account. And I do not claim to be an expert. There's a ton of features, a lot of things you can do. So I'm just going to go over the very basic stuff to kind of get you up and going. Now, Matterport has a lot of videos to help you get further along and answer specific questions. So let me switch this here, move myself out of the way. We had scanned that small office space, and what we're going to do now is we're going to log into our Matterport cloud account. You go to mymatterport.com and you enter the credentials in that you set up when you set your account up. And this, if you're setting the accounts up nowadays, it has to be a pro level account, and I believe a Pro 20 is the least expensive plan, and I think that is $68 a month for 20 active spaces. So anyway, I went to mymatterport.com. I've got my credentials in here. You click sign in, and should relatively quickly. Okay, and I'm going to switch to the main view, which is, so when you first sign in, typically it's going to take you to, if you see in the upper left-hand side, the dashboard. And this just gives you some basic statistics about your account. Like I have a 25 space plan. I have 18 of my active slots are being used right now. And then I have a number of scans that I've archived so they don't take up spaces. You get some basic statistics here. This shows you your newest scans. And then when you get down here, get started with Matterport, they've got some pretty good little videos that cover specific things here. They've got a scrolling little list of them, and then you can click here and actually go to, I think, their library of videos. So anyway, so that's the main view. Upper right-hand corner, you see which account you're logged into. For some reason, we're set up as a collaborator on this company's account. They've never removed us, even though we haven't done anything with them. But Site Tour 360 Pro 3, that's the name of the account that I uploaded to. So if you go to all spaces, well, let me hit a couple other things here. Let's go real quickly. Users, these are people that you've authorized to use your account. Of course, you're going to be set up as, by default, as the administrator. You can do all kinds of things. I have Carson signed up as a collaborator. That means he can upload spaces and he can work on those particular spaces that he uploads. I have this gentleman was signed up a while ago. I've deleted him now. He's no longer a collaborator. Like I said, I'm the administrator. But anyway, if you want people to be able to upload to your account, you can go in here and add them. And I would add them as a collaborator, obviously not an administrator. Real briefly on settings, this is where you go in and you see the overview of your account. And there's some settings here that you want to turn on. Obviously you want to allow public sharing if you want people to be able to search and find your models. Social sharing, public details. This is what shows up when somebody goes to your Matterport account and looks at your scans. This is the information that shows up. You can change that. There's a subscription agreement, enable third-party apps. I'm not 100% sure what that is, but I think it may have to do with some of the other overlay platforms allowing them to access your spaces. Features. They typically put the new stuff here. Here's beta features, side-by-side comparison. I'm really looking forward to that. That's that'll be a pretty handy thing. You have two spaces you scanned at different times, and you can side-by-side see the before and after view. Field tags is another one that's in beta that's going to be very handy. You get down to here, here's some stuff you might want to turn on. I turn on automatic face blurring just so if anybody shows up in your scans, it blurs them or anonymizes them. Blur brush tool allows you to go in, and if you've captured something that the client doesn't want people to be able to see, you can blur it. The defurnish, that's typically if you go in and say you scan an apartment, you can, if this is enabled, when you view that space, you can click a button to defurnish it and it'll remove the furniture, all the furnishings in it, so the space is vacant. And it's an AI feature, but it actually works pretty well. Remove camera from reflections, that was a real one that had been requested for a long time. If your camera ends up in a mirror, if this is on, it'll remove it. Import export tags, if you have a lot of tags in a space, you can export them, or you can import tags, which prevents you from having to redo all of the tags in a space. Measurement mode, pretty self-explanatory. Merge spaces, if you have two spaces that are together but for some reason you couldn't connect them, let's say the stairwell was blocked or something like that, you can actually manually go in and merge one floor to another floor to make it one space. Notes you can add to the scans, property description, layout, space search, VR mode. Not super up to speed on those. Add-ons, this is where you go in and you order. You need to enable this to be able to order a BIM file, sketch file, an E57 to be able to upload to Google Street View. You need to enable this in your account, and then space by space you're allowed then to go in and order these add-ons or enable these different features. Billing, this is important. You want to make sure you have all your billing information correct, up to date. It's a good idea to have 2 credit cards in there just in case something happens and you don't see the notice. It'll automatically roll over and bill another another card. And this is also at the bottom down here is where you can cancel your subscription. Usage, I think it just tells you more statistic about your space's developer tools. I don't know what that is. So we're going to go to all spaces if you're wanting to view a space that you've uploaded. Now this is what we've uploaded. You can create folders to put them in, like we have a couple school spaces here, a ranch job that I did, different helps you organize spaces. And then I put all my archive spaces here. You can see I've got a total of 26 spaces that are archived. Those are spaces that I might want to access in the future, but I don't need access to them now. So they can, I still have them, but they don't count against my 25 spaces that I'm paying for. We'll go back here. Okay, so that was the folder I put my archive spaces in. And then Office June 3rd. I don't know why the thumbnail picture's not showing up here on this one. It usually does. Okay, so this is the one that we scanned. So I'm going to go ahead and open it up. Okay, so this is that small office space that we scanned. And this is viewing it inside of the My Matterport on my cloud account. You can also view it how your clients would see it. It's kind of, you don't really get full screen here the way they would see it. So if you want to do that, I'm going to copy this link. I'm going to open up another browser over here, and I'm going to paste that. And we're going to go there, and then this is going to show you how it's going to load and how the client would see it. So it's like that. And then typically you have these different viewing options here. So this is the dollhouse view. And you can see what Matterport does is when you view from this side here, it removes these walls, but it leaves these in so you can see, get a 3D, get a good view of how the space looks. And if I switch it around, you can rotate it that way by using the right click and drag, and then you can move it left and right and up and down by the left and drag. So I'm going to spin it around, and you notice as I spin it around, so you don't see the facade up here, but as I spin it around and you get to the front, it becomes visible. And the same thing when you flip it around, these walls disappeared, but the other ones now show up. So that's basically how it, typically when it's going to load, I'm going to reload it. It does that dollhouse view, and then it flies into your first scan point. And then from here, you can do your, of course, your navigation, move around, that type of thing. So now I'm going to switch back to the My Matterport account, and I'm going to go into the editing mode and just show you some real basic features or functionality on the editing. Like I said, I'm not a super whiz on this. There's more stuff that you can do, and I encourage you to explore it and, you know, learn all of the details that you can. So I'm going to switch to editing mode, and when I do that, you'll notice on the right hand side a bunch of editing tools pop up, and I'm going to go over kind of, you know, some of the more important ones, or some of the basic ones, I guess is what I would say. So one is the start point. So you notice when we flew in, basically we flew into this view here. If you wanted to change the start point, so let's say I move over here, move to the front door. Let's just say, just so you can see it, move to the front door, this here. Saving, and then I can click and it's going to redo it, and it's going to show me the new fly in. So basically you can change the start point, and you just want something that makes sense or that makes this looks the best for the initial view. The next thing is labels. I'm not 100% sure on those. I believe they apply to spaces. So rooms, you can label the rooms, like you can label it main office, second office, like that. Measurements. This, if you turn the measurement tool on, you can measure inside the model, but I think here you can actually go in and add measurements if you wanted to. So say you wanted to check a measurement, you can drag this. Let me move to a different view here. We'll measure something that's kind of makes sense. Let me move a little closer. Okay, so let's click on a measurement here, and I'm going to move this. See, it's got a pretty good little thing to kind of fine tune getting your tool where you want it. Now it's not exactly going to the corner there, but if I want to measure across, I'm on that left side, and then I go across here, and then I snap it to that corner there down near the bottom, and there, and that should be that should give you a pretty accurate. So that's a little little feature there you can do to, and you can leave those on the space so they show. I'm going to put discard changes, and I'm going to go to guided tour. This is more for virtual tours. You can set highlights, different frames that will play in sequence to set up a tour. Tags. This is something that's actually pretty useful. I'm going to add a tag here, and you'll notice that you can kind of, it changes how it attaches to the surface depending on, it tries to go out perpendicular to the surface. So when I click in here, it's going perpendicular. So I'm going to put that there. Then you can add a title, descriptions. You can also upload multimedia URLs, and I believe you can upload, you can links to videos, YouTube videos, pictures, text descriptions. You can put a URL here. That's something that's pretty handy. Close that out. Notes. This is a new one, and it's similar to the similar to the tags, but I think it's basically just for doing quick little text. No, I guess you can actually add, you can add attachments, videos, and URLs there. So that's just another way to add. And then when viewer clicks on it, whatever you've added will pop up. The tags give you more of a different visual thing, a different way that they look. Let's discard. We'll go back to the tags. Let's add a tag, and you can see it. You can change the stem on this. Let's say I put that there. You can change the stem length on it. So say I go here, you can move it up. These are good for, say you wanted to identify something that wasn't really visible. You can set the tag base there and then drag it down to where this actual tag is in the field of view, so it makes it more obvious that there's something there for somebody to click on. So that's tags. There's notes. This shows you all of your 3D scans. So, and you can move to one. Say I click on 6, it's automatically going to move to 6. And in here, one of the handy features of this is, well, say you scan a space and you decide that you don't need all of the scan points. You've got too many of them, so it's kind of redundant for people navigating around. What you can do is you can go, say I decide I really didn't need 14. I can click on 14, and then if I go down to 14, I can click on this little eye icon here and it'll hide it. So all it does is the data is still there, but that particular scan point, you can't see it, and you can't navigate to it anymore. See, in this view, it has an X on it. You can view it, you can navigate to it while you're editing, but when you've finished editing and published the changes, that space won't be, or that scan point won't be one that people can navigate to. That just helps to clean up that, set up a path where people are navigating where you want them to navigate to. 360s, I think I did not cover that in our video, or I might have mentioned it briefly, but say I was scanning this space here. I'm going to go out to the view here. Well, so this is everything that we did a 3D scan, so it could connect everything. But say I needed to get a picture out in this warehouse here, but for some reason I wasn't allowed to open this door, or something was blocked. I couldn't get in there. I had to go from the outside, but I wanted to try and include this. Because it's not something connected to what I've already scanned, you can't include it as a 3D scan, but I could set the camera out there and create a 360, and then it would show up here. It would have a different icon there. It would show up as a 360, so people, when they're viewing the model, there'd be a little indicator, hey, that there's a 360 view here they could click on, and they could go out and they could see that, even though it's not part of the 3D scan. But you need to take those in the field, and the app allows you to place them where you want them. You just kind of geographically place them, because it doesn't know where exactly they go. Say I did one out here, it might put it way up in this upper left-hand corner. When I'm in the field, I'll drag it to where it needs to be. And then if it's in here, if there is one there, you can actually see those 360 views, and I think you can adjust them or that. Photos, this is if you want to take a photo, say that you're in the space. It helps you the grid mark helps you line everything up. You can click, take a photo, and then you can view your photos. Plugins, compass, mini map. Okay, that's new to me. I'm familiar with the mini map, but I didn't know it was in Matterport. Now you can add mini map, you can add a business card, quick links, not sure about that. Color adjustment, that's a beta feature, but it allows you to kind of change the hue and tone and that. Blur, that's the blurring. So say I was in the model now and somebody is standing there, I can enable that tool and I could go in and I could use your mouse to point to the area. Okay, let's go there and there. And you'll see as I move the mouse around, you can notice I just blurred that light out. So, that's the blurring. The trim tool. Now this is, you can trim. I always like to do the basic trim of the model in that overhead view, I trimmed this in the capture app when I was done doing the capture, and that's why you see this square. It's kind of neat and square here. But if you want to, say I wanted to see this overspray up here, when I was here, that's part of the warehouse space. There's no ceiling there, so it actually captured some stuff up there. If I wanted to, I could use the trim tool, and I could create a three-dimensional box around that and eliminate that. So that's that tool. Property layout. So that's giving me, I think because measurements are enabled, this is showing up here now. And it gives you kind of some basic dimensions and square footage of the different spaces. I'm not sure what the criteria is on certain size ones, like it didn't do this little alcove here, but it did do the bathroom. So I'm not sure exactly what the criteria is on creating that. And then defurnish. Let's see, I would assume that's turning defurnish off. Defurnish, no. I'm not really sure there. You enable defurnish in your account, so it's available in all your spaces. We'll look at the process model in a second, and maybe the defurnish tool is there, so I'm not certain what that is. So that gives you kind of a walkthrough of the basic features and functionality of it. Now, back here, and then let's look at the share settings real quickly here. I think it'll give us them. You have private, which means you don't want anybody to be able to see it. So somebody has to be a collaborator and sign in order to view the space. You can password protect a space, so only people with a password can view it. Unlisted just means that anybody that has the URL for the space can view it, but it's not published, it's not searchable. Somebody couldn't type in some keywords or something and find it, is what my understanding is. And then public, which is this, most of the time what you're going to use, is basically it's public. Anybody on the internet can view it. Matterport may publish it to other sites, publishable to other sites via not Matterport. Using the add-ons, it's going to be available. Share to the Site Tour 360 page on the Matterport Discover page. So Matterport may showcase it there. And it's indexed by internet search engines, depending on the information you've entered in about it. Make your space stand up by updating the following. You haven't added any hashtags, so you can add hashtags. You can add an address. And here you can invite, your account is using 3 of 10 available use, so you can invite a collaborator, and a collaborator can actually go in and, I believe, can edit the space and do some basic functionality there, but they can't do anything with your overall account. So that is that. And then let's go back here and see what, so I've enabled defurnish. Let's see what it does here in this space. So, okay, that's pretty slick. I knew it worked pretty well. I haven't looked at it in a while, but so that's pretty nice there. And that's AI that's doing that. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more features that things they're going to be able to do with AI going forward. Okay, and then just to go back over this again, I think I hit this on when we talked about sharing, but depending on how you want to share it with a client, like when you first scan a space, you might have it on private. Just you don't want the client or anybody to be able to find it. The client may want it password protected. Typically, I put ours, unless otherwise instructed, I just make them as public. And then you can get, let's see, showcase option branded, unbranded, MLS ready. You can do the unbranded. I believe that just removes your branding from it. I believe the Matterport logo still shows up in it. Branded also has your branding elements in it. And then, this is the embed. So this is the embed code if you want to embed it on inside of a website. I guess inside an iframe typically is how that would be. Use the embed code. And then your most common thing is going to be your link. So I just clicked on copy the link, and if I go to a new tab here and paste it, so everything is, it's mymatterport.com/slow the model equals, and this is the key number here. That's how Matterport identifies your space, that HPT number there. That is your unique URL to your space. So if you were to share it with a client, then this is what this is the view they're gonna see after you've done your editing and you've saved everything. Then this is what the client is gonna see. So that wraps up a real basic walkthrough of the cloud account and some of the basic editing features. And like I said, I'd encourage you to dig around some more on your own. There's a lot of things that can be done. And then there's the whole issue, or the whole aspect of using overlay programs like MP Embed, where you can add custom menus and a lot more branding, and a lot of different functionality like that. So that should get you started. If you got any questions, always you can message us on Facebook, go to our website and put in a question there, and I believe we have our toll-free numbers on the website too. Always here to help anybody out in any way we can. Thanks.